Hey, everybody, listen, welcome into the building. Okay, it's Wednesday, it's trending topics, and I'm here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Before I get into tonight's show, he's not here tonight, but you know, Julius is always on the panel. He's also a mod. Today is his birthday, and although he's not here, he's going to come back and he's going to see it. Why don't y'all just give him a happy birthday shout out in the chat? Happy birthday, Julius. I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging in there with the diva. Much love, Julius, okay? So, Julius, love you. Happy birthday, and I hope you're having an amazing day for your birthday. So now, people, we got to get into it, okay? We got to get into it. It's Wednesday night. It's Trending Topics, and it's called Lawsuits and Scandals. Lawsuits and scandals. So there's this reporter from Pix News 11, African, and she's fighting back. She's fighting back. She says she worked her way up to the top in a very traditional way. Okay? She didn't sleep her way to the top. She wasn't clawing and plucking at other people to get to the top. And she said when she got to the top, they was treating her like a whole modern day slave. She said she was doing the job of 3 people. And when she started to complain, she said, what did she get? She got fired. They retaliated against her. So we're going to talk about this young lady. You know, it's always sad when you have a profession that you love. You have a profession that you love. You went to school. You studied your craft. You get in a job, you start all the way at the bottom in the mailroom because this is how bad you want to be in said industry. And at the beginning in this broadcasting industry, you're making pennies. You're making pennies. Wendy Williams told us the first radio station she went to, I think she said she had to go to Jamaica, and she was making $3 and change an hour. But that's how bad she wanted to be in the industry. And she stuck it at it. She held on. And then what ended up happening? She rose to the top. She rose to the top. But she had to hang in there. So this young lady, she hung in there, rose to the top. And she said when she got there, they treated her like a whole slave. Now she's suing. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about her story. And we're going to dissect this thing. Then we got Tiffany Henyard. I do understand why in one of the criterias, and there's very little criteria to be the president of the United States. It is very little criteria. Matter of fact, I think you got more criteria trying to work for corporate America, McDonald's, Target, Walmart. You go through a heavier process of trying to get one of those jobs versus running for president. Now we know, respectfully, you could be a whole criminal and still run for president. You just got to be 35 and older. I'm going to put that down as the only criteria. Oh, yeah, and you got to be a United States citizen. Other than those two, I think that there is zero criteria to be the president. Just got to be over 35. And be a United States citizen. So a mayor, Tiffany Henyard, she wreaked havoc as the mayor. Havoc. And then, you know, they had a meeting. And somebody called her a bitch. Her man was there. He called himself standing on business. And someone in the audience called her out of her name. He went to he put him up. He put him up. Now he got fired from his job. And now both of them are getting sued. You know, at a certain age, you gotta grow up. You gotta understand that the people are going to come for you. They're going to come at your neck, so to speak. And you're going to have to rise above it. But no, she was there. She's the mayor. Not just a regular citizen. You're the mayor. Somebody calls you out the name. Your boyfriend get into it. They getting on your boyfriend. So you said, okay, my boyfriend's trying to save me. Now I got to go save my boyfriend. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Now, she knew going into that meeting that the people were sick of her. So she should have prepped her man ahead of time. Listen, they don't like me. They can't stand me. They want me to step down. Now, it's going to go down in this meeting. If you are coming, just chill. Don't get tested when they say something out of pocket and out of line. As long as they don't put their hands on me, we're going to ride this out and all is going to be well. But no, he fell for the okie doke. And they said, too much is given, much is required. He failed the test. And now they're being sued. And he's jobless. The last thing I'm going to have is my man jeopardizing his employment because we got vacations to go on. We got to go out to eat. Got our mortgage to pay. We want to live our best life. Don't let them see you sweat. But no, they fell for the okie doke and now they're being sued. We're going to talk about it. And then this is very sad, this story. Very sad story of a young lady who wanted to have a baby. She doesn't have a partner, so she's getting up there in age. And you know, society has beat it in us of ladies like for forever. Oh my God, you 30, you still single. Don't you want to have kids? Well, I can't marry myself. They put all this pressure on your back. You got to be Wonder Woman. Got to go to college, have the career, get the job, get the husband, have the kids. It's a lot. So she decided, I'm going to go to an infertility clinic because I want to be a mother. She goes to this infertility clinic. The infertility clinic, they had, let me see here. Let me see what I got on my little thing here. They had egg number 1 and egg number 2. And then somehow they got mixed up. They was in the same container. They got mixed up. They implanted the wrong egg in her. But nobody would know. How would you know? But the clinic should have known. They implanted the wrong egg in her. She's a white woman. It's important to this conversation. Now she in the hospital. She's 9 months. She's giving birth. She's pushing the baby out. The baby black. Baby chocolate. And so when the baby came out, she knew right away, like, what happened? But guess what? This mom did. This is a true mom. This is a mom for real. She didn't care. She said, that's my baby. They did the DNA test and said that baby was 0% connected to her. She didn't care. She wanted to keep the baby. But then the biological parents come along. They find out the clinic messed up. And they wanted their baby back. And they got their baby back. She didn't fight them, but she was still heartbroken. She said, I rolled into place with a stroller with a baby in it, and I left with just a stroller. That clinic needs to be shut down. Shut down. I carried a baby in me for 9 months. I got connected to the baby. Baby comes out, I'm black. I'm white, the baby's black. And now the original parents, the biological parents, they want their baby. This is so messed up on so many levels. Shut the clinic down. Shut the clinic down. And maybe, I don't know how this goes. I don't know all the details in it, but I know, and maybe they just can't. But I'm feeling like maybe they should retrieve the egg, and the day they retrieve your egg is they implant it back in you. Because this is a devastating mix-up. And it's so unfair to the mother that gave birth to the baby. But shout out to this lady. Because for real, she a mom. She's a mom. And I'm praying to God that her dreams and her wishes come true, that she gets to become a mother. Because she didn't freak out, lose her mind when she saw the black baby. She said, that's my baby. She took that baby home. She was loving that baby. That baby had everything. And then the parents said, I want my baby back. Listen, y'all, I'm about to bring the people on in the building. Y'all know what I need. I need a what, y'all? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and it's called Lawsuits and Scandals. And y'all know what? Somebody throw some train emojis in the chat, okay? Because we about to board this train. A reporter fights back. Mayor Tiffany Henyard, a whole hot mess, getting sued, and the shocking baby mix-up. I'm going to bring the people on in. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, in my opinion. All right, y'all. We're going to go. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Y'all. Hey, in my opinion. Hey, panel.
Hey. All right. We're going to go ahead and get right into this first story. And I think the first story I'm going to do is the baby mix-up. It's just so sad, so emotional. My heart broke. My heart broke for this woman. But I said to myself, she's a true mother. And I pray to God with everything I love that this woman gets to become a parent like she wants to be. Hold on one second. Let me see. Okay, here it is.
Was finally living her lifelong dream of being a mother.
He was beautiful and perfect, but it was also very clear that something was wrong.
After a grueling round of IVF and 9 months of pregnancy, Mari, a white woman using a white sperm donor, gave birth in late 2023 to a baby boy with a much darker complexion.
My son's skin tone didn't match mine, but he was still my son.
What should have been a joyful first few months bonding with her son, who she loved and wanted to raise, was punctuated by constant fear and uncertainty.
I didn't know whether it was a sperm mix-up or whether he was someone else's.
Mari took a DNA test that confirmed her baby wasn't hers biologically. The clinic she'd used, Coastal Fertility Specialists, eventually determined that they'd mistakenly implanted another couple's embryo in Mari. The biological parents sued her for custody, and Mari chose to give the baby she loved up to them rather than fight.
And I walked out of the building with an empty stroller, and they left with my son.
And what was it like going home alone?
Probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Mari now suing the clinic, which said in a statement to NBC News that it deeply regrets the error, calling it an isolated event with no further patients affected. The clinic also saying it's since conducted an in-depth review and put additional safeguards in place. Her story is rare but not unprecedented in the world of fertility treatment, which experts say is largely unregulated.
There's no reliable data or disclosures about how often IVF goes unjustifiably wrong. The U.S. regulates assisted reproduction far more lightly than other developed countries.
Even after the trauma of the last year and the legal process ahead, Christina, who's 38 and single, isn't giving up on her hopes of one day becoming a mother.
I have started the process over again with another clinic, and I'm hopeful that in the next year or two I can try again.
It's just heartbreaking, Priya. So what does the road look like for her going forward?
Yeah, so Christina's attorney has told me that he has successfully represented about 1,000 fertility patients against their clinics across the country over the last 10 years in a variety of misconduct cases, including ones like this that involve embryo mix-ups, but also in cases involving freezer malfunctions that have resulted in embryos or eggs being completely destroyed. He even represented another California case that was quite unbelievable. You guys may have heard about it, involving two couples that in another fertility clinic mix-up ended up having each other's biological children, raised them unknowingly for a few months until they discovered it, and then they ended up swapping the infants back. And by the way, a lot of you are wondering what happened to Christina's embryos. I asked her about that, and she said that she's not sure if they're being frozen and stored in that fertility clinic or if perhaps they've been transferred to another patient, Savannah.
Wow. Well, that is just terrible. Priya, thank you for your story. Appreciate it. That's just unbelievable.
You can't even call that a mix-up.
No.
A mix-up's when you grab somebody's phone accidentally. This is just unbelievable.
No, and then the fact that she may have embryos that are her embryos and she does not know where they are right now.
To give back your baby, it just breaks your heart.
Crazy story, guys. Hey, thanks for...
Okay, so hold on, I need to share a screen again. Such a sad story. Let me just make sure I have it here. Okay. Very sad. So medical mystery, white woman gives birth to a black baby at the IVF mix-up. Then she was forced to give up the infant 5 months later. So 5 months she raised her baby and then had to give it up. She was ready to raise the baby as her own, but he was heartlessly ripped away. A new mom who conceived with in vitro fertilization got a massive shock when she gave birth and instantly realized the baby wasn't actually hers. Christina Maury, who is white, found a white sperm donor, couldn't believe her eyes when she gave birth to a black son in December of 2023. That's her, that's the son. And you could tell she loved her baby. You could tell that she was very excited about this. Once she investigated the life-changing mix-up, DNA testing proved that Murray wasn't related to the child at all. She revealed in an emotional press conference Tuesday. All of the love and joy I felt seeing him for the first time was immediately replaced by fear, she said. How could this have happened? Despite getting a confirmation, Mary, a 38-year-old wedding photographer who lives in Savannah, Georgia, decided to raise the baby as her own. But hanging over her head the entire time was the fear that the little boy could be taken away at any second, despite the fact that she carried him for 9 months. Just 5 months after giving birth, her nightmare became a reality when she was forced to give the baby away to his biological parents. The clinic had tracked down the parents informed them of the mix-up, and they demanded custody of their son. In a heart-wrenching moment, she described walking into a courtroom with who she thought was her child and walking out with nothing but an empty stroller. The birth of my child was supposed to be the happiest moment of my life. And honestly, it was, Mary told reporters on Tuesday. But it was also the scariest moment of my life. On Tuesday, Mary filed a civil lawsuit against Coastal Fertility Specialists, which operates clinics in South Carolina and Georgia for allegedly mixing up the embryos. She claims the fateful mistake has caused severe emotional pain and ongoing anguish over losing a child. I have never felt so violated, and the situation had left me emotionally and physically broken, she said in a news conference. I spent my entire life wanting to be a mom. I loved, nurtured, and grew my child, and I would have done literally anything to keep him. During the preliminary appointments, the wannabe mother requested a sperm donor who was white with sandy blonde hair, so the baby would look like her. She prayed that the clinic had only mixed up her donors, but still used her eggs, and was devastated to learn that she had no relation to the baby. Now she feels like she was turned into an unwitting surrogate against her will for another couple, the lawsuit claims. In a statement, Coastal Fertility said it has apologized profusely for the error and is doing everything in its power to correct it. The group called the mix-up unprecedented and stressed that no other patient at their facility had gone through such a traumatic experience. That was an isolated event, with no further patients affected, Coastal Fertility told the Associated Press in a statement. We are doing everything we can to make things right with those affected by the incident. Mary is being represented by Pfeiffer, Wolf, Carr, Kane, Conway, and Wise, which has brought more than 1,000 legal cases against fertility clinics. Her attorney, Adam Wolf, said they have no clue how such a drastic oversight could have taken place. Fertility and clinics engage in virtually important work, he said. Vitality, important work, he said. With that amazing work comes a real responsibility. And when fertility clinics make mistakes like this, the consequences are life-altering. Like many other medical procedures, IVF comes with serious risks, including bleeding, sterility, and death. Murray was ready to risk her safety for the opportunity to become a mother, but she never once considered her child could be taken away for good. I feel like that should be something that women are aware of as an actual possibility, she said. It's such a sad and heart-wrenching story. Savannah, your thoughts?
It is, and it's from my hometown, so I am familiar with the clinic. It's heartbreaking because this woman tried for 2 years to be a mother, and her own embryos, she has no idea where they are. Were they implanted into someone else? So are her children being raised by somebody else as well? And the clinic can't give her those answers, so she doesn't know if, were they disposed, were they are they in part of someone else's family now? But this case here, I could just see the administration using it as a justification to shut down the IVF process, because that was part of PP 25. And this is such an antiquated system where there really isn't any real regulations or reporting requirements for these labs. And I can recall in the 90s and 2000s of scary stories where families were getting the wrong babies and embryos. And I mean, it is so heartbreaking, because at the end of the day, this woman went through a treatment, carried a child to end up with an empty stroller. It is heartbreaking at the end of the day. She still hasn't been able to accomplish the one thing that she spent so much money on and that she has been desiring, is to be a mother. So I hope that she, of course, is going to sue and gets justification, but I don't see any type of money filling that void of wanting your own baby, your own offspring. And it's just harm. It is absolutely sad. So, and that area it is a good area. There's some great doctors and medical professionals in that field, but they were careless and had no good tracking system or requirements on how they transfer these embryos. So I hope that she is blessed in the next year or two and does have a child.
Thank you. Yeah, this story is heart-wrenching. In my opinion, your thoughts?
This is a sad story because nobody can give you your time back. Nobody can give you the way you feel when you're carrying your child in your stomach. That stuff can't be replaced, not even with money. And then this lady raised this kid for 5 months and then had to give him up. It's amazing that she's able to stand. Let's just say that. I'm pretty sure she has been through it emotionally, physically. I'm praying for her that God sees a way to give her, a chance to have a child. But I just feel like it's messed up on all ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, she spent because IVF is expensive. Okay, that starting treatment is about 75K, and you have to do 2 to 3 rounds of it, to even get it put in. So I really do feel sorry for this lady that she's not only suffering because she had to give birth, do all this and then had to give birth, and then find out this is not even her. He's not even related to her. And then once she get over that hurdle, she raising him and everything, and then the parents sue her for custody of the son she's been loving on for 5 months. It's just heartbreaking.
Thank you, in my opinion. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yes, I think both of them was robbed. The lady that had the baby,
Yeah.
she was robbed, basically having her child taken away, even though it wasn't her child, but, delivering her, carrying him all this time. And for the real parents, they was robbed for not even carrying their child.
Mm.
It sucks on so many levels. They got a free surrogate. You know what I mean? Because the lady carried the baby. And I think they should sue the heck out of this place.
Mhm.
And what happened to her her eggs? Did they put them in somebody else? They saying they can't find them, so if somebody else got her children running around or something? This is ridiculous. This is sad on so many levels. All these two women was robbed, and there's no telling what else or who else they have placed babies in somebody else's that's not theirs. If that baby wouldn't have came out black, that woman would have never knew that that wasn't her child. She would still thought that was her child. But because of that incident, she uncovered a whole lot of stuff. Because I'm quite sure she is okay. You see, she's not white, so I'm quite sure the dad is not. Black. So I'm quite sure the dad is not black either. So this woman, if she didn't have a black child, there's no telling how many people they have implanted the wrong eggs into. So
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? There's no telling. Just the thing of it is the reason why they got caught on this one is because the baby came out black.
Mm.
But yeah, I just pray that she gets some justice. I know she got to be heartbroken. And I know the person that baby was taken, was taken from her. I'm quite sure they're upset too because they don't have she didn't get a chance to experience being motherhood or carrying a baby or doing things that you have to do for the baby when you're pregnant. You know what I'm saying? She didn't get that experience because if it would happen quickly, she would have never went to an IVF. So, like I said, I hope they get sued. They need, like you said, they need to be closed down because they no telling how many times they have made that mistake. But I just pray for peace for both of them. I hope both of them find some sanctuary, and it's a sad situation. That's all I got, Diva.
Yeah, you know what? If those people that went to that clinic start taking DNA tests, good gosh almighty. Oh, that would be sad. E, your thoughts?
Well, hey, so I do think that I agree with Katrina. I think it's sad and it's unfortunate, and it does. Mary seems like an honest, deserving woman, and I'm certain she will make a great mother. This will happen for her, and maybe next time she'll be blessed with twins. But you know, it's devastating to go through round and round of IVF and then finally getting a successful cycle. Talking to the baby in your stomach every day and picking out a name and buying baby furniture. When she says that she's suing for emotional distress, I can totally see that. Decorating the room and now you're left with this room. It is heartbreaking. I can see that. I would not wish this terror on my worst enemy. But while I do have empathy, I will not mix qualms about the Black people wanting their baby back. That baby did not belong to Mary. Mary wanted a white baby with blonde hair. I believe she said in blue eyes. I could be mistaken on that part because I came late. But she said it. And she wanted the baby to look like her. That's what she paid for. Now, albeit she had 9 months to grow attached to this particular child. And I can understand there's grief that comes along with that. You've been talking to this particular child. You've been raising this child for 5 months. There's love there. I get that. But like Katrina said, as much as she was heartbroken over the loss, there were 2 other people who were just as anxious, shocked, confused, and heartbroken to learn, hey, somebody gave birth to my baby. It's 3 people in this situation. Well, 4 people, including the baby. And I think the best solution was rendered. All 3 people wanted this baby boy, and his true parents got him, and they deserve to be happy too. Hopefully, Mary will get a big, huge settlement from coastal infertility facilities or whatever you call these people, and her next round of IVF will be successful, because I believe you said she started her next cycle with a different company. Hopefully Mary will find her embryos that she gave to this coastal infertility company, and they will be returned to her. I pray she gets justice, because she deserves happiness too. And she is going to make it happen. She is going to be a mom. She is going to have her own baby who looks like her. And I hope the baby have blonde hair, because this is what she truly wants. She's going to make it happen.
Thanks. I appreciate you, E. Yeah, it's a bad situation all around. Yeah, I do understand the parents wanting their baby, because that it is not their fault either. This clinic is 100% liable and responsible. And if I was the Black parents, I would sue the clinic too. Because you loosey-goosey. Who else? How? Because you, like, I forgot who said it. They usually retrieve more than one egg. How can I be sure that my babies are not walking around somewhere else in this world because y'all don't know how to do your stuff right? I think everybody who had a kid from that clinic within the last 10 to 20 years should go get a DNA test, because the clinic is messy. Whew. Well, I'm going to go ahead and roll right into the next story. And I might as well go to this reporter who unfortunately rose her way to the top, only to find that she was being discriminated against and treated like a whole runaway slave. Okay, let's get right into her story. So former Pix 11 news reporter sues the station for discrimination. New York's Pix 11 News is being accused of gender and racial discrimination in a recent lawsuit filed by former entertainment anchor reporter. I don't want to mispronounce her name, but I'm going to say Onika. I'm not even going to mess with her last name. Got her start at the local New York station as an intern in 2001. The Nigerian-born journalist rose up the ranks, occupying jobs from assignment editor to producer to reporter over 16 years, according to her station bio. Her lengthy bio remains on the station website, but ends with Onika separated from Pix 11 in 2022. In 2017, she was promoted to a full-time on-air position as entertainment anchor. Look at her there. Looking good. Beautiful. The best part of my job is the fact that I love what I do and I'm pretty good at it. But with this, I've also realized I can reach so many people and touch many lives, especially women, not just in Nigeria, but the entire continent of Africa and hopefully all over the world, she says in her bio. After the promotion, she found herself having to do the work of 2 or even 3 employees, such as the work of a segment producer and even that of a copy editor, without adequate support, according to the lawsuit filed in the Southern District of New York last month. The suit further alleges white male entertainment anchors at sister stations and subsidiaries of parent company Nectar, KTLA in Los Angeles, and WGN-TV in Chicago were paid more with less responsibilities and more support and a more competent staff than her. The Emmy-winning journalist started complaining about her work environment and alleged discrimination she was experiencing, likening her work conditions to those on the plantation. All that's left for me to do at this point is pick cotton, she said, reacting to the disproportionate amount of work she was expected to do, according to the lawsuit. She also sounded off about alleged discrimination due to her race, telling the station, "Just call me Django," the fictional character popularized by Quentin Tarantino's 2012 film. But even Django was unchained, the suit states. Additionally, my ancestors didn't go through what they went through just for me to go through this. And I thought slavery was abolished, the complaint says. The following claims that her news director told her to desist because she was making people uncomfortable. In 2023, she was terminated due to alleged insubordination and an alleged failure to perform job duties, according to the suit. She and her union lawyers challenged the allegations against her and found that Pix 11 charges could not be supported by any evidence, according to the complaint. The suit also says that the news director took back the reasons Pix 11 originally gave her and decided that Pix 11 was simply not renewing her contract for no reason, according to the complaint. She later hired attorneys Andrew G., Eric Adams, law firm to take on her case. She was terminated and her contract was not renewed because she spoke up about discrimination she was experiencing. Beyond being morally unjust, Pix 11 and Nexstar must be held accountable for their violations of the law, Abrams said in a statement. A spokesperson for Pix 11 did not respond to page 6 requests for a comment. This is a hot, flaming mess. Savannah, your thoughts?
Well, there's a lot to unpack in that story. I quickly thought of this article I read recently with the dismantling of all this DEI. Harvard had released a study on how the Black women are set up to fail at work, regardless of the degrees on their walls or their any of their educational background or accolades, or it just, and it's unfortunate that that is the environment, that in the professional environment that we are experiencing right now. But this news reporter has not only is it discrimination on gender, but on race. I mean, they overlooked her for promotions. And I want to know who they, as the terms they love to put in their reports, are that she was making uncomfortable, and what was the findings of what was the analysis of them making that statement that she was making them feel uncomfortable? Was it her that she was speaking another language that they didn't understand, or I mean, the article that I read, it went as far as dissecting how I'll just say white co-workers felt uncomfortable on even the hairstyles and textures of Black women in the workplace. And it was very, very interesting. But they were studying on how, especially this administration is removing DEI and how organizations are falling in line. These institutions are not taking any type of action to ensure that there's any type of workplace equity and fairness, and they don't do any type of investments to make sure that they are cultivating inclusion in the workplace. So this reporter, it's unfortunate that she is facing all these disadvantages professionally, just because of her race. And I think we're going to see more stories like this appearing in our social media realms. And it's not, it's unfortunate, but not uncommon. That's all I have, Bea.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, they was uncomfortable because she was a Black educated woman, and that's a deadly combination. They were scared of it. That's not the job that she's supposed to have. She's supposed to be out there picking cucumbers and tomatoes, or cleaning a hotel room, or being a housekeeper or out there building a house. Because see, the job that she got, that's not a black person job. That only comes for the other people. That's their type of job. She was in the wrong field. So, like I said, she was a black educated woman, and that was their worst nightmare. So I hope she get everything she deserved in her lawsuit, because this is just ridiculous. It's just getting to the point where it's just getting ridiculous. It just makes me sick. Like it's just sickening the way they got this world going. All because of racism and the ones that want to be billionaires and want to be brown nosers. And I just hope that she do what she need to do. I hope she settle. I hope she sued them out of their little company, run them out of business, and start her own news company, start her own news channel. That'll really get them. Because obviously she got the smarts and the knowledge to know how to do it. She rose up through the ranks. So she need to go start her own channel with the money that she's suing from them, start her own channel and bring in more black people to work under her. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. E, your thoughts?
So here's the thing. I can understand how when somebody is coming into a position, and I believe it was stated they wanted her working like a slave, doing all of these different positions. I'm curious to know what the person's experience was who had the position prior to her. Is this something that had always been? Or is this something that had just occurred? And like we've discussed on this panel, anytime at work you're coming in and you're making waves, that will make people feel uncomfortable. And I believe this took place in Nigeria. Is that correct?
No. This is New York. She's from Nigeria.
Oh, New York. She's from Nigeria. So I'm looking at this in all kinds of ways now, because I was looking at her clothing and I got mixed up there. So this happened in New York, but I saw her wearing clothing on air from the picture you showed. I believe that has an quote unquote African pattern to it. Am I right about that?
I mean, one of her outfits, not all of her outfits, but I'm trying to see where you're going.
Well, I'm going, what type of media was this? What
It's
was
611, and she was the entertainment person.
What
So
does that mean?
She would tell about the movies or what's going on in entertainment, like the whole Diddy thing, stuff like that.
Well, the culture of a place matters, and we have to read the room. And that's not to say that anybody should lessen themselves, but we have to know what we're getting into, especially with this regime. I believe Savannah spoke truth to power, because there's a movement where people who were never really on board for this DEI stuff to begin with, now they get to really do what they want to do. And I hope this person gets all the money they can while they're still able to, because the way that things are reversing every day, she might not have time. There is a global attack on women worldwide. And that's where I was going initially. You have to watch the global news. It's not just here in the United States. There is a similar conservative group parallel to the Heritage Foundation, who propelled MAGA, pushing and propelling anti-women and anti-LGBT rights in Africa. And it's also going on in Canada. It's massive for people who have wealth, who do not look like you nor I, who want to strip women from being independent. They do not want women to be in control of our own money. They do not want us to have rights to vote. They only want women subservient to men, pregnant, and raising children. And I think that when we come into these situations, because we just got the law passed about our hair, if I'm not mistaken, that was a year or two ago, where we could not be penalized for wearing our natural hair. That makes some people who do not look like you or I feel uncomfortable. And when you come into the corporate office with an afro, and that's just the truth. People have said it. They've done surveys. white people do feel uncomfortable with that type of hairstyle in the environment. And when I saw, not all white people, some people have said that. And when I saw that pattern of that garment, I was thinking to myself, who is this audience? What type of movies is she reviewing? You're talking about Hollywood movies. What were the viewers saying? It's all type of ways that this can be spun and looked at. And I'm not justifying it and saying that this person should be out of a job. I'm not saying that this person did not experience discrimination. But what I'm saying is when we get these jobs in these corporations, we need to research them thoroughly. Are they being inclusive? Are there other Black people who work there? When you look at the company page, who are at the top? Who are these executives? Do they look like you or I? When you're going in, and are you reading the signs? Because I can't remember if it was Savannah or Katrina. This may not be the best company for you to work at anyway. Yes, we have to make our money, but there's a cost. There's a cost in everything we do. And hopefully she will come out on the right side of this. I'm praying for her, but it is unfortunate.
I appreciate you. Thank you, E. She worked there for over 16 years. She started at the bottom and worked her way up to the top. I think she knew the culture. I think that unfortunately sometimes they're just women in general, and I'm seeing this with Kathy Hochul right now. They keep pressuring her. They're on her neck to fire Mayor Eric Adams. And it's to me, I feel like sometimes when the Black female gets the job, or just the female period gets the job, they throw a whole lot on our back that they don't throw on other people's back when they was in or had the same position or similar positions. I think that this woman, I think that they did. She's not the only news anchor that I ever heard this story where they just expected you to do 17 jobs, but meantime, your male counterparts are not expected to do all the same jobs too. It's disgraceful, it's despicable. And when they promoted this woman, she looked the way she looked. They knew what they were promoting.
When they promoted her from within, this was not under this current administration. The air was different in this country. Right?
This current administration just happened though, E. This happened to this woman back in what was I clicked
2022.
Yeah, 2022. I mean, no, she was done dirty. She felt like she was on a plantation. She said the only thing left was for her to pick some cotton, and I believe her. In my opinion, your thoughts?
This is the way they do you. They put you in these positions and they think you're supposed to do whatever and whatever they tell you to do. I'm glad she's standing on business and saying I'm gonna sue y'all for my due. This is not nothing out of the norm. This is a form of discrimination, and they know they was discriminating against her. And once she started filing these complaints, you know what they said in their mind? Oh, well, we can't defend these, so now we're gonna add on to you all these things so we can get you out and have a basis. Although most people don't have to have a basis for letting you go. They can fire you without any basis and still hold their head up high. But they knew they was gonna have to deal with some stuff because they had did some low down dirty stuff to her. So that's the reason why they let her stay on long enough to stack a case up against her. The only thing I think that she should have did that she didn't do was record this stuff. I really do think she should have got one of those spy cams, clipped it onto her, and showed everybody just how they was doing her, just the amount of work they was piling on this lady. Because I feel like every time we sit up here, we talk about women need to stand on business. Here it is, this Black woman is standing on business. And y'all, it is showing y'all how this Black woman was torn down from her highest position. She got to that highest position. She worked her way, clawed her way to that position. And then they tried to tear her down, belittle her, and discriminate against her. And still, she's still fighting, and they still trying to tear her down. We can't say it no more that it's because of what's going on now. It's because of what's going on in the world. It's not just that. It's some people with some sick minds that will mistreat people for the simple fact that they don't care about you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. In my opinion, we're going to move on into the next story. So, yeah, she was treated wrong, period, point blank. And I hope she gets a huge settlement. But it's a shame that she was on that job for over a decade, almost 2 decades. And this is how they ended. And they lied. They said one reason as to why she got fired. Then when the lawsuit came out, they changed the whole reason. They changed it all up. Now she was insubordinate, this, that, and the other. They're messy, and I hope they pay. I'm gonna roll into this last story. This Tiffany Henyard. She's a whole hot mess. But now, because of her little scuffle at the meeting, her and the boyfriend's being sued. Listen, when you get with somebody, they should compliment you, and somebody should be a little more even tone, and maybe somebody could be a little crazy. But when you're both are ready to pop up off, it can both cost y'all. So Dolton Dictator Tiffany Henyard hit with lawsuit. Boyfriend fired over chaotic board meetings brawl at the She's Called a BITCH. Now, let's just be reminded of this little brawl and what happened.
When scandal-plagued Mayor Tiffany Henyard got caught in the middle of a full-blown brawl. Literally. It all started when activist Jedediah Brown launched into a fiery speech, calling Henyard a half-assed mayor and accusing her of sleeping her way to the top. Things escalated fast when Brown called Henyard a vulgar name and walked away, only to be immediately charged by Henyard's boyfriend, Kamal Woods. That's when all hell broke loose. Henyard shoved a table aside and ran straight into the melee. Video from the meeting shows her diving into the chaos as security tried to separate the crowd. Witnesses say she lost a shoe, possibly a wig, and even hit her head on a table during the scuffle. I have never seen a politician jump into a fight like that, and it was scary and horrible, one eyewitness told local media. Another added, it was one thing when the guys were fighting, but when she jumped in, I was floored. It remains unclear if Henyard was trying to break up the fight or if she was actively involved in it. No arrests were made, and Brown was carried out by police. The meeting itself was already tense, with township officials questioning how grant money was being used for an at-risk youth program run by Woods and another man. Both were placed on paid leave as the board voted to bring in an independent auditor. Henyard slammed the move as political retaliation and has threatened legal action. This latest controversy follows a string of scandals for the self-proclaimed super mayor. She recently lost her bid for re-election as Thornton Township supervisor, claimed voter suppression, and was just found in contempt of court for stonewalling liquor licenses.
So she's a hot mess. But now the problem is your boyfriend's jobless and y'all getting sued. So Dolton Dictator Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her boyfriend are being sued by 2 men who claim they were attacked for expressing their First Amendment rights during a brawl that erupted at a town hall last month. Henyard, the scrutinized mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and her boyfriend Kamal Woods are accused of attacking activists Jedediah Brown and Lavelle Redwood at the January 28th meeting in Thornton Township. Video of the wild fisticuffs captured the chaotic moment. Tempers flared inside the meeting hall after Brown delivered an explicit-filled rant directed at Henyard, who is also the town supervisor of Thornton. In his allotted time during public comments, Brown called Henyard a half-aid mayor, claiming she has slept her way to the top before holding an informal vote to have the self-proclaimed super mayor removed. "You gone, B," Brown said as other residents cheered. Woods allegedly attacked the activist as he walked away from the microphone as the violent fight erupted inside the government building in South Holland, Illinois. Brown claims Woods, a Thornton town employee, called him a BITCH and threatened to harm him, according to the federal suit obtained by Fox 32. Brown and Redwood claim Woods and Dolton employee DeMarcus Quigley were given the green light to attack him. The lawsuit alleged Woods pushed Redwood, who then threw a punch in self-defense before the township employee dragged Brown to the floor and the melee ensued. Henyard allegedly got involved and hit both Redwood and Brown with her microphone, striking Brown in the head and back. Along with the super mayor and her beau, the men are suing a Thornton Township employee, a Dolton employee, the South Holland Police, and private security firm All Point Security and Detective Inc. The men claim the officers and guards at the meeting should have prevented the fight, but failed to do so. After being removed from the meeting, Brown claims he was put in a separate room where he was attacked again. The Cook County resident accused 2 private security guards of throwing him into a closed room where they wrestled with him for a minute and a half, banging Brown's head and elbows against the wall and the floor. An unidentified Thornton employee allegedly struck Brown hard in the back of the neck after he escaped the private room. Brown says he lost 3 veneers and suffered injuries to his face, abdomen, elbows, and back during the brawl. Brown and Redmond accused Henyard, Woods, Quigley, and 2 private security guards of suppressing their constitutional right to freedom of speech by using intimidation and physical force. The defendants are also accused of violation of due process, battery, assault, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Both men asked for a trial by jury in the civil case and are seeking an undisclosed amount for compensatory damages that would pay for Brown's medical expenses and treatments, his emotional distress and pain and suffering, and the value of a new phone for the one Redmond lost during the Brown. Woods, who ran the youth township program for Thornton, was placed on administrative leave alongside William Moore, another Henyard ally, at the January 28th meeting. The Thornton Township Board voted to fire both Woods and Moore for their roles in the fight at the February 6th board meeting, Chicago CBS reported. The brawl occurred as Henyard had recently lost the Democratic nomination for Thornton Township supervisor, but claimed she lost because of voter suppression. The brawl happened just days after Henyard was found in contempt of court for allegedly stonewalling liquor licenses for moms. Listen, this is a mess. Now her man is jobless and they're being sued. Yeah, wild and totally outrageous. Savannah, your thoughts?
Mayor Tiffany is the gift that keeps on giving. I have been following her story for at least 2 years, a little more than. And Mayor Tiffany, as you said, Diva, is off the chain. I've never seen a politician like this. I've never seen a story like this. I did see the brawl when it occurred because there is a documentary coming out about this township and how she not only abused the power of being mayor, but how she broke this town where they have a deficit of I think it was probably like $4 to $6 million when she came in. There was a surplus of almost $40 million, and this in less than 3 years, this mayor who approved continual overtime for police officers that were off duty from being law enforcement, but then immediately went on duty to be her personal bodyguards. This group of officers made over $200,000 in overtime. The chief of police was also making a bunch of overtime money. He was crooked. He was actually fired and refused to leave. Mayor Tiffany has been living her life on the city credit cards and with no receipts, locking employees out of City Hall, taking financial documents. I mean, this woman is off the chain. These charges are federal. And I do know the feds, part of the story last year was the feds are looking into her after Mayor, Lightfoot was hired to come in and do a forensic analysis of the town's finances. Lightfoot found where Mayor Tiffany was abusing not only the credit cards for the town, but every aspect of financial documents that this woman had. Mayor Lightfoot had a very detailed, scathing findings to her investigation. I mean, this is a story that keeps on giving. So, and she still shows up as mayor every day, although her townspeople have asked her to leave. She bulges her way in through the door and reports to work. And this is not the first fight that has happened at one of the town meetings. However, this is the first one that she's been involved in because she jumped over the table and ran to get in the brawl. So this is I am saddened that when a minority, especially a woman, is given a position of power, she not only abuses it, but abuses the people that she's supposed to serve. And those people elected her out of trust and making the situation better for her. And this woman abused them. So I'm here for every sentence that Mayor Tiffany is going to get. And I want her to do federal time. I really do want her to do federal time. So, and she was looking for the current administration to give her a lighter sentence, especially since Adams has now gotten a slap on the wrist. So she's also looking to reach out to 47 and see what he could do for her. So it's going to continue, and I'm here for it.
Thank you, Savannah. Well, we're going to take a little pause for one moment and say happy birthday to the birthday boy in the building. Happy birthday, Julius.
Happy birthday, Julius.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your day. I know you just popped up for a second because I asked.
I did. I am full. Dinner was everything.
Well, I'm so happy for you. I'm so
happy birthday.
But happy birthday.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you. All the support you give me. And I really hope that you had an amazing birthday. Thank you, Julius. Thank you, Savannah.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. So, Katrina, your thoughts?
My thoughts are: is she related to Donald Trump? Are they sisters and brothers? Because she doing the same stuff he doing, and he getting away with it. So maybe if she reach out to 47, she'll get away with it. And that's a shame that these taxpayers is getting treated that way. When they need to go to her and get extra help, they can't get the help because the mayor is taking all the money from the services that they offer. This is ridiculous. And I'm with Savannah. When we do get in these positions, we mess it up every time. You know what I'm saying? You knew you can't do this. Girl, you do not have the complexion for the protection. You know they're going to come get you. You know this. And to be out there fighting, this is just, this is ghetto on so many levels. And I see why these people want her out that office. I mean, you're not standing to hold this office. These people need to realize when people elect you and put you in these offices, they're looking for the best of you so they can be the best. And the people we got in office in these places right now, they're not giving us the best. They're giving us the worst. And we see it. We fight for it. We tell them. We ask them not to. They're just like saying, I don't give a darn about you. I'm still going to do what I got to do as long as I'm getting what I want. So when she go to trial, if she go to trial, because we see how the system is set up to work now, I hope she get everything she deserves. That's all I got, Diva.
Yeah, thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So Tiffany has been a hot mess for as long as I can remember. This is what happens when you bring people that not supposed to be in places that they into places. I feel like she wants to be the hood mayor, okay, and she wants to run this like essentially a gang. Because she was shutting down the community centers at one point. I really don't like people with this power hungry that they're using the money to get their hair done, their nails done. It makes me feel like you took the job for a different reason. You didn't take the job with serious intent. Now, I do think it was very disrespectful for this man to call this woman out of her name. Regardless to the fact, it was very disrespectful, and for him to use that he was doing freedom of speech as his verbiage for calling this lady out of her name, although you may have felt that way, it should have been some kind of decorum in this situation. And I do feel like, low key, I do hold the security and the officers in some kind of, because what was the security doing? Like if all this was popping off and she jumping over people to get to it and get in the ball, I mean, this was a whole Jerry Springer show. Jerry didn't have to find nobody to pay. He could have came down here and got all these people for free.
Thank you. In my opinion, E, you're up.
Okay. I have a difference of opinion. The lady, whoever that news reporter was, she said she never saw a politician jump into a fight like that. Well, in my opinion, that's the problem. If more Democrats stood up and fought for our rights, we wouldn't be in this situation that we're in right now. We just got finished talking about how the black women get done dirty at work. This woman was at work. The man called her the B word, and her boyfriend went to work on him. He decked him one good time, knocked 3 of his veneers clean out of his crooked mouth, and now with those missing teeth, he'll think twice before he calls another woman the B word. How about that? I want to see more of this because we're just out of bounds in this country, and we got to reel it back in. Next time, take that energy to Pennsylvania Avenue. Everything that happened right there, take that down there to the White House, because everything that y'all are accusing this woman of, they all do it. It happens in every city. This is not isolated. It's not an isolated thing at all. And so what's troubling me is we letting the Congress and the Senate rob us blind, the Supreme Court. Elon Musk has access to the Treasury. And you're telling me that after all of these men, we just got finished talking about how men are treated differently than women. All of these men are doing all of this. And now you're telling me that this woman, this black woman, lost her bid for re-election. Listen, for this fight, no. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Not when Donald incited an entire insurrection, and now he's on the cover of Time magazine and they're calling him king. It's grown black and white men calling Donald Trump daddy. Grown men. So just like we said in the last story, we let the men like DeSantis, Donald, Elon, Kemp, Adams, McConnell, we let them run havoc in our government. No care in the world. They're unrestricted. But when a black woman does anything, we call for her termination expeditiously. Y'all did the same thing to Fannie Willis when we talked about her over here. Y'all did the same thing to Keisha Lance Bottoms. Before Kamala left, y'all said Kamala didn't do nothing. Y'all said y'all had not seen her in 4 years. Y'all said Kamala and Joe was sleeping on the job, drinking and going on vacation when they were supposed to be working. I have not one bad thing to say about Tiffany. I don't care about a brawl. Are you kidding? Not when Donald had thousands storm the nation's capital chanting H-A-N-G Mike Pence. People lost their lives that day. And when it comes to Tiffany, nobody died. Somebody may have gotten a few knots on their forehead. They may have lost a few teeth, but everybody was able to get back up and go back home that same night. He may have lost the phone, but that's on him. I want to see more Democrats taking it to the House. And I think this person, she needs to be, I feel like they're treating her dirty. I think Donald letting all these men go through. I want to see this woman get some type of grace shown in this situation. She needs a second chance.
Whew. All right, people. Thank you, E. We're going to stay connected to all of these stories. The reporter, I want to see how this pans out. The mom that unfortunately she was a surrogate and didn't even know it. I'm hoping that she, gets the opportunity to become a mom again and this time keep the baby. And, Tiffany. It's Tiffany. And 2 of y'all told me in the chat that the boyfriend is married. I just want to crawl up underneath the table. He out there fighting for the girlfriend and he's married.
Free Vera. Free Vera out. Free Vera.
I just never seen some this is just insane to me. Hey Felicia, we're closing out. Did you want to say something?
Yeah. Hey everybody. Because we're talking about Tiffany's boyfriend. Yeah, he's married, but he's supposed to be separated from his wife. And I just wanted to know what the panel thought about the engagement of Rakim and Rihanna. That's what I want to know.
Well, they're engaged now.
Yes.
Well, I mean, she knows what she's signing up for. I guess it is what it is. She wanted to make sure he's going to be free, and now they engage. I mean, good luck.
Struggle love.
Yeah, good luck. Struggle love for real, E. I will agree with you on that. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.